Hey there, Cowboys Nation. Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into everything related to America's team. Today, we've got a loaded episode for you as we tackle two hot topics: Jerry Jones' recent comments about Dion Sanders as a potential head coach and the emotional journey of Dak Prescott during this tumultuous season. But before we kick things off, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications so you never miss an update. We're committed to bringing you the most engaging and thought-provoking Cowboys content out there, and your support keeps us going. Let's jump right in. The Cowboys are sitting at 3-7, and let's be honest, things aren't looking good for Mike McCarthy and his staff. With McCarthy in the final year of his contract and the team struggling to find its footing, speculation about the next head coach has already begun. One name making waves in the rumor mill? Dion Sanders. Dion, a Pro Football Hall of Famer and former Cowboys cornerback, has been turning heads as the head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes. His charisma, leadership, and recruiting abilities have transformed Colorado into a must-watch college football program. But does that make him a good fit for the NFL? When asked about Sanders during an interview with 105.3 The Fan, Jerry Jones had this to say: "One of his greatest skills, that he really brings to college, is that he almost has no peer as far as being a recruiter. Kids want to come play for him, and he has a way of selling that. That's not a huge prerequisite for NFL coaches." Jones went on to suggest that while Dion's talents are undeniable, they might be better suited for the college game. "I think we're way ahead of ourselves relative to when and if he decides to go into coaching in the NFL," Jones added. For his part, Sanders doesn't seem to be in any rush to leave Colorado. In a recent interview, he said, "I'm happy where I am. I love it here. I truly do." But here's the twist, Cowboys Nation. Michael Irvin, another Cowboys legend, thinks Dion might be interested in the job under one condition: if his son, Shedeur Sanders, were to be drafted by Dallas. While that scenario seems unlikely with Dak Prescott under contract, crazier things have happened in the NFL. Let's pivot to Dak Prescott, who is having one of the most challenging seasons of his career, both physically and emotionally. After suffering a devastating hamstring injury that required season-ending surgery, Dak has been relegated to the sidelines, watching his team struggle without him. In an emotional interview, Dak opened up about the pain of being unable to help his team. "The other day, after the game, it all just hit me. Boom. A couple of tears came down," Dak said. "It's not just the injury, it's the weight of watching the Cowboys season unravel." At 3-7, the team is all but out of playoff contention, and Dak admits that it's been hard to stay positive. "This is going to hurt. It's going to suck at times. But you just have to understand this is one of those moments that it does," he added. For fans, it's a stark contrast from just a year ago when Dak was lighting up the league with 36 touchdown passes and leading Dallas to a playoff berth. This season, however, has been a far cry from those glory days, with the team struggling to find its identity on both sides of the ball. With the season seemingly lost, the focus now shifts to the future. Mike McCarthy's job security. Does Jerry Jones make a move and bring in a new head coach? If so, who fits the bill? Dak's road to recovery. Can Prescott bounce back in 2025 and return to MVP caliber form? Trey Lance experiment. Will the Cowboys give their backup QB more snaps to evaluate his potential as a long-term solution or trade asset? Dion Sanders has undeniable charisma and leadership skills, but Jerry Jones raised valid points about the differences between coaching in college and the NFL. Recruiting is a cornerstone of Dion's success at Colorado, but that skill doesn't necessarily translate to the pro level, where drafting and free agency dominate. However, Dion's ability to inspire and lead players could be exactly what a franchise like the Cowboys needs. With a roster full of talent but lacking direction, could prime time be the spark that reignites America's team? This Sunday, the Cowboys, 3-7, face off against the Commanders, 7-4, in what was once one of the NFL's most celebrated rivalries. But let's be honest, this season has flipped the script. The Cowboys are in a 5-game losing streak, struggling to find answers on both sides of the ball. Meanwhile, the Commanders are thriving under their new head coach, Dan Quinn, who has turned them into a serious playoff contender. What makes this matchup even more intriguing is the story that recently came to light. Dan Quinn was nearly the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Let's unpack that. In a recent segment on Fox Sports, legendary Cowboys coach Jimmy Johnson revealed that after last season's humiliating 48-32 playoff loss to the Packers, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones seriously considered replacing head coach Mike McCarthy with Dan Quinn. According to Johnson, "I really believe had Dallas played better defense against Green Bay in that last playoff game, Dan Quinn would be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys right now. But that's to Washington's benefit." Quinn, who served as the Cowboys' defensive coordinator for 3 seasons, had been seen as the logical successor to McCarthy. But the playoff loss, in which the Cowboys' defense crumbled, ultimately derailed any plans for a coaching change. Instead of staying in Dallas, Dan Quinn took his talents to Washington, and he's been nothing short of transformative. Under his leadership, the Commanders boast a top 10 defense, with a revitalized pass rush and improved secondary play. They're 7-4, sitting firmly in the playoff race, and looking like a team that could make some noise in January. Johnson praised Quinn for his evolution as a coach. "You look at him, he is not the same coach. He took Atlanta to the Super Bowl. He's an outstanding football coach. People talk about, these are professionals, they are self-motivated. That may be true for the top 2 or 3 guys, but you've got a roster of 53. And he motivates those players not only to play hard in the game, but to practice every day, to get better." The Cowboys' coaching conundrum. This revelation puts a spotlight on the Cowboys' current struggles. With Mike McCarthy still at the helm and the team spiraling, it's hard not to wonder, what if Dan Quinn had been given the reins? McCarthy's tenure has been marked by inconsistency, with the team showing flashes of brilliance but failing to deliver in critical moments. Quinn, meanwhile, has shown he can motivate players and get the most out of a roster, something the Cowboys desperately need right now. With McCarthy in the final year of his contract, the Cowboys are at a crossroads. Jerry Jones has some tough decisions to make this offseason, and it's clear that the shadow of Dan Quinn looms large. For the Cowboys, this game is about pride and possibly salvaging some momentum for the rest of the season. The offense has struggled mightily, with quarterback Cooper Rush and backup Trey Lance unable to fill the void left by Dak Prescott, who is out for the season. The defense, once a strength, has been inconsistent and prone to giving up big plays. For the Commanders, this is an opportunity to solidify their playoff position and make a statement against a division rival. You can bet Dan Quinn will have his team fired up to face his former employer. This isn't the first time Jerry Jones has been at the center of a coaching debate. But the situation feels particularly dire now. The Cowboys are staring at a potential rebuild, with key players and staff out of contract after this season. Jones has been known to value loyalty, but how much longer can he justify sticking with McCarthy if the team continues to falter? Quinn's success in Washington only adds fuel to the fire. It's a bitter pill for Cowboys fans to swallow, knowing that the man who could have turned things around is now thriving with a division rival. Now it's your turn, Cowboys Nation. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. 1. Should Jerry Jones seriously consider Dion Sanders as the next head coach? Or is he better off staying in college? 2. How confident are you in Dak Prescott's ability to bounce back in 2025? 3. If not Dion, who do you think should be the Cowboys' next head coach? Before we wrap up, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. The road ahead might be tough, but we'll be here every step of the way to break it all down for you. Thanks for watching, Cowboys Nation. Let's hold on to hope, look to the future, and, as always, go Cowboys!